All right, let's dive into Freedom Bound. This is the story of a group of vampires who basically said, "We're done," and fled a crumbling old world for a fresh start. The only problem? They're about to find out the new world has its own teeth, and its politics are just as deadly as anything they left behind.
This quote right here, it just perfectly sums up the shock of their arrival. After getting chased off a beach by some kind of massive reptilian monster, it hits them like a ton of bricks. The old myths are real. This new world isn't just empty land. It's hostile, it's alive, and they are so not prepared for what's waiting for them.
So who are these people willing to make this crazy voyage? Well, they're a coterie, a small crew of 5 specialists. You've got the captain, a stoic veteran of the seas, in charge of their ship, the Deus Irae. Then there's Bethany the knight, who is all about solving problems with a very big, very sharp sword. We have Hagbard, the hunter, who's more about traps and tactics than a straight-up fight. There's Federico, a secretive necromancer who's clearly running from something bad. And finally, Conwell, the observer, a quiet guy who's always digging through old stories for hidden truths.
Their whole journey kicks off in Cadiz, Spain. Now, this is a city that really comes alive after the sun goes down, but that vibrant nightlife is just a cover for what's really going on. It's a total powder keg of vampire politics. Old feuds are boiling over into a full-on shadow war, and for our group, the clock is ticking. They have to get out before they get caught in the crossfire.
So the mission, right? It sounds simple, but they're in a huge rush. They've got one night to get everything done. They need to load the ship, not just for the mortal crew, but with enough blood to last the voyage. And the real kicker? They have to find a pilot, someone who's actually made it across the Atlantic and back alive. It is an absolutely desperate scramble to escape.
So, they make it out. But now comes the voyage itself. We're talking 6 to 8 weeks with this ship as their entire universe. Out there, isolated on that huge, dark ocean, they use the time to train and make plans. But you know what happens when you stick a group of intense people, or, well, vampires, in a box for that long? It becomes a total pressure cooker, and all their little tensions and different ideas start coming to the surface. And you can totally see this split in how they get ready. On the one hand, you've got the warriors. Bethany and Hagbard are up on deck every single night, sparring, getting ready for a physical fight. Then, below deck, you have the thinkers. Conwell is just buried in his books, trying to find some clue about what they're sailing into, while Federico, the necromancer, keeps to himself. His own goal is a total mystery. This isn't just about different styles. It's a real conflict over how you survive, with brute force or with hidden knowledge. And Bethany? This one quote tells you everything you need to know about her. While everyone else is debating strategy, she just cuts right through it. She's not about complex plans or sneaking around. No, for her, the solution is always simple. Be the fastest, strongest, most terrifying thing in the room. End of story.
After all those weeks at sea, they finally lay eyes on it. Havana. This is supposed to be it, right? The promised land, the start of their new life. But the sight that greets them, it's not one of hope. It's one of complete and utter desolation.
I mean, the contrast between where they came from and where they are now is just stark. Cadiz was a city that never slept, buzzing with life and intrigue. Havana? It's a ghost town. The wharf is just a graveyard of wrecked ships. The streets are empty, buildings are scorched, and there's this creepy silence over everything. This isn't a new beginning. It's a crime scene.
And the official welcome? It's just as chilly as the city looks. A guard shouts an order across the water. "Stay on your ship. The governor will see you an hour after sunrise." Now, for a mortal crew, that's just an annoying delay. But for a ship full of vampires, that's not an order, it's a death sentence.
So yeah, staying on that ship is just not going to happen. Obeying that order is impossible. Under the cover of night, a few members of the coterie slip ashore, desperate to figure out what happened to this silent city. And that decision leads them right into their very first confrontation in the new world.
And their response to being discovered is just terrifyingly efficient. Conwell gets spotted in the main square. The 2 guards start to charge, shouting. But before they can take 2 steps, Bethany moves. She's across the plaza in a blur, appearing right behind one of them. At the exact same time, Conwell uses his own powers on the other guard. It happens so fast you'd blink and miss it. 1 second the guards are charging, the next, they're unconscious in an alley, with only a fuzzy, confusing memory of what just happened. Okay, so before we go any further, let's nail down this one term, kindred. It's what these vampires call each other. It's more than just a name. It signifies that they all share the same curse, belong to a secret society with its own ancient laws, and, of course, that constant nagging hunger for blood. It's a huge part of their identity, and it's about to become very, very relevant.
So while that's all happening on shore, something else is going on back at the ship. Something is climbing out of the dark harbor water. It's this grotesque, humanoid creature, all webbed hands and fish-like features, and it pulls itself right onto the deck of the Deus Irae. The captain and everyone else still on board are instantly on high alert.
But just when you think a big monster fight is about to break out, the creature speaks. And what it says just shatters everything for them. Welcome to Havana and the Camarilla courts of Prince Redburn. The Camarilla, that is the largest, most powerful, most controlling vampire organization in the world. It is the exact iron-fisted power structure they were running from. In one sentence, their entire dream of freedom just evaporates. They haven't found an empty new world. They've just sailed from one cage straight into another one.
So, okay, this changes everything. Havana isn't a sanctuary. It's just some other prince's turf. They realize they've just traded one set of masters for a new one they don't even know. The Kotori knows they can't stay. They have to keep going, to find a place that's actually theirs, a domain they can control, far away from this Prince Redburn's influence. Their search takes them down to the southern coast, to a place called Santiago. It's much smaller, way more of a frontier outpost than a real city. It's rough, it's undeveloped, but it also seems to be free of any other kindred. This could be their chance.
But of course, it's never that easy, is it? It turns out the whole town is pretty much owned by three brothers, powerful sugarcane plantation owners who control everything. So to make a home here, the coterie has to deal with them. And on top of that, their own personal goals are still in play. The captain is trying to build a new network, and Bethany is still hunting for the vampire who made her, which adds a whole other layer of risk to everything they do.
So now they're at a crossroads. What's the play here? How do they handle the three brothers? Do they go in hard, all force, Bethany style, and just take them out? Do they try to play the long game, using manipulation and shadows to steal their power? Or is this just another trap, another dead end, and they should just cut their losses and run again?
And really, that's what it all boils down to, isn't it? They fled the old traditions, the old conflicts, the old games, desperate for something new. But in this strange new land, full of both primal monsters and hidden opportunities, are they actually going to succeed in building something for themselves? Or are they just going to get sucked right back into the same vicious cycle of power and survival that they tried so hard to leave behind?